People say I'm an overthinker, but I'm better to be an overthinker than an underthinker. My brain's
never really a fan of filing court cases, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do, and you got to protect.
He didn't. I could never do what he did.
Yeah.
Most people in the world could never do what he did. But he's got himself into this position.
The mood turned darker when a speaker suggested the incident was more than bad luck, and instead a build-up of clear warning signs. The argument was that what fans praised as victory in the ring may have been followed by a serious breakdown in real life. This situation reportedly pushed Joshua to face issues of betrayal, neglect, and permanent consequences.
talking about, oh, he's this, he's that, he's that. I said, but why are you worrying about what someone else has done? What have you done as a fighter to kind of boost your ego?
Speaker One pushed the story further by describing how public opinion changed as investigations moved forward. Reports claimed that federal authorities were now reviewing the details surrounding the crash. This shift raised the situation from simple talk to one of the most serious and closely watched moments the boxing world has seen in years.
Process danger at all. Later, I learned the car had crashed head-on into a stationary truck. The full force of the collision hit the front seats. The back seat, where I was, became the only relatively safe place, and that's what saved me. What I still struggle to accept is that the two people in the front didn't survive. In that instant, they took the most violent impact. Without meaning to, they absorbed everything and became my shield. Security pulled me from the car and rushed me to the hospital. The doctors told me I was extremely lucky, that I'd only suffered minor injuries, but honestly, that kind of luck doesn't feel comforting at all. That was the moment I understood something.
As triumph and tragedy collided, Speaker One looked back on how Joshua moved from worldwide dominance and viral praise to unbearable loss in just a few days. The reflection showed how fragile success can be and how fast fate can take everything away, no matter the power, discipline, or fame involved.
Do so. So we filed a lawsuit against him, and we'll leave it in the hands of the lawyers. And, you know, we take what he said very, very seriously. And
Speaker One ended with a powerful reminder that this case was never simply about headlines or famous names, but about lives lost and warnings ignored. The boxing world now watches the lawsuit unfold with one urgent question looming. Will justice be done, and can accountability stop a tragedy like this from happening again?
As AJ said, and everybody knows, he's not a real boxer. There's levels to this game, and he was way out of his level, way out.
Anthony Joshua's legal action shook the combat sports world when reports revealed he had filed a lawsuit against Jake Paul. Joshua framed the case as a response to what he saw as reckless behavior connected to the car accident that nearly ended his life. This move marked a dramatic turn from their ring rivalry to a courtroom battle fueled by grief, survival, and a call for accountability.
Your enemies, they are your brothers and sisters under God. We all came from Adam and Eve. In the beginning, everybody on earth. Remember that. Spread love.
Speaker One made it clear that Joshua did not make accusations hastily. After surviving the crash and returning home from the hospital, he decided on legal action only after carefully considering the sequence of events, the claims of mechanical failure, and the permanent loss of his closest friends. This process turned his anger into a deliberate pursuit of justice, rather than a reaction driven by emotion.
Designed to be a fighter, whereas I joined the amateur club at the age of 8 years old, or my dad had a vision of me being a fighter one day in my life, and
count everything for his development. I don't think he did anything for his development because he didn't have somebody in front of him that wanted to test his development.
As the story developed, Speaker One shared Joshua's account of the crash hitting without warning. He described an alleged brake failure and sudden loss of control, with the front of the car taking the deadliest impact. The violent event left Joshua in the back seat unharmed, while tragically taking the lives of the men he trusted most.
It's just sad. It just makes you realise how valuable life is and how things can change in a heartbeat. So when we talk about fights and we talk about beefs and, you know, these things are just nothing when it comes to real life and losing your life. So it was a sad thing to hear, a sad thing to see. God knows how it'll affect those that saw it mentally, emotionally. But you've got to think about these two men who were somebody's child, someone's brother, and that's what you've got to think about, those people that have lost their lives.
Speaker 1 described Joshua's survival as haunting rather than lucky, explaining that he publicly wrestled with knowing his spot in the car might have spared him while his friends faced the full impact of the crash. This realization turned the story from one of celebrity survival into a lasting emotional burden marked by survivor's guilt.
I was there before the news broke, close enough to see what the cameras didn't show. The Jake Paul fight didn't feel won, it felt delivered. 6 rounds like a deadline, 33 million live eyes like a quota, breathwork behind doors timed like ignition. A serpent tongue cue marking the moment fate locked in. Joshua thought the knockout crowned him. He never realized it completed him. The win wasn't triumph, it was transfer. The crash wasn't accident, it was collection. The script didn't go wrong. It came.
The discussion intensified as Speaker 1 focused on Eddie Hearn's response, showing him as straightforward and critical of what he called reckless behavior by the Paul brothers. Hearn confirmed the lawsuit and emphasized that boxing showmanship must stop where human life is endangered, drawing a clear line between entertainment and responsibility.
So who am I? I might become a Buddhist in the next 10 years, and my whole perspective on life might change.
Speaker 1 emphasized that the legal process was now fully in the hands of lawyers, highlighting that Joshua's team treated every claim and statement with full seriousness. This showed that the action was not a publicity move, but a carefully organized legal response to a tragedy that changed lives far beyond the boxing world.
Has sustained minor injuries, and he's fine. Now, these are the images that are out now of what happened. This happened in Nigeria. If you guys don't know, Anthony A.J.